Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my third video in my Christmas series of 2019. Today's video is on two different Christmas tablescapes. The first tablescape I'm calling the Winter Wonderland. And this next one I'm calling the Rustic Farmhouse Christmas. So here are all the things that I'll be using for the Winter Wonderland tablescape. So I have some chargers that are weathered. I have white plates, a few different types of trees, a few different types of deer. Also, I have the ornaments that I made in my previous video, which if you haven't seen, I'll link below. And then a table runner, and then some greenery, some pine, and some lamb's ear. So first I'll take my super plush table runner and place that in the center of the dining room table, just smoothing it out, making sure that it is in the center. And then I'm going to take the greenery that I have, and I have 4 different picks, and this is more like a pine branch. And I'm just leaving the picks on there. You can actually remove them, but I didn't think that it was necessary because the pine actually covers up the pick itself, and then once you start decorating you can't see that either. And I'm just gonna open up and fluff the branches. And then also I'm kind of placing it in an S so that you can place your individual trees and deer in the arrangement. An S just seems to work really well. After I'm done fluffing all the branches, then I'm going to take my lamb's ear garland and kind of place it down in the center so that I know that half goes on the left and half goes on the right. I'm just going to weave that in and out of the pine, and I just think that this really gives it a more natural look. And I think just adding different greenery just adds a lot of interest to the whole tablescape itself. And I'm just going back through and picking up any pieces of the pine that I think needs to overlap the lamb's ear, and also trying to hide the picks so that they won't be seen. Next I'm going to start with the deer, and first I placed the larger deer in the center, and I think that just helps to make a focal point of the deer. And then I have the 2 smaller deer that I want to place on the sides, and that just again balances out the tablescape by adding them on either side. So once I'm happy with the deer placement, I'm going to go over and grab 4 white fluffy trees. There are two tall and 2 smaller. And I like to start with the taller ones first and start them towards the center of the tablescape, and then work my way to the edges with the smaller trees. And I just again kind of like to stay with that S shape. I think that just is pleasing to the eye. And as you can see, I'm having a little trouble. This tree doesn't want to cooperate, but you can just keep working with it, and eventually it will be the way that you like it. And then I want to go ahead and put a different type of tree, just like you would see in nature. There's all different trees, so I think this adds a little bit more interest and a little bit of texture to the tablescape. And I just, place them sporadically. So next I will grab my place setting, and first I'll start out with the charger. And I got these at Hobby Lobby, and they are just a rustic weathered charger. So I'm just adding 4 place settings. I like to do this because the 5th and the 6th kind of get crowded because of the table runner. But I'm just going to place them in front of the 4 chairs. Now for the dinner plate, I'm going with just a plain solid white ceramic plate. I got these at Walmart, and I believe that they were $1.97 a plate, and I also picked up the salad plate. And I think that it is just essential to have just a plain white dinnerware set. Now for the salad plate, I went ahead to make it a little bit more elegant. I added the salad plate that is from our china set. And I think that just makes the table setting a little bit more interesting because it is different. Now these napkins are pretty plain, but they do have like a sparkly thread that is a little bit of gold. And I think that just adds a little interest, and it ties together with some of the trees and things that are on the tablescape. But I just wrap that over the dinner plate and then let it drape to the bottom and then meet the edge of the charger. And so I'm just going around and doing that to all four. And I didn't have time to iron them, but I think for presentation at your dinner party, it would be nice to have them nice and ironed and crisp. So after I'm finished with the fourth place setting, I just wanted to add the decorative ornaments. And each is different, but they all flow together and have a cohesive look to the tablescape. So here we are, all finished, and I think it really turned out very nicely. And just to mention, everything that I have here is from Hobby Lobby. And I like how that it is elegant, but it's very natural. And I love the greenery with just the muted colors of the whites and creams. And I really love the fluffy white trees. And I do want to make some other DIY Christmas trees later on in my Christmas series, so be sure to be on the lookout for that video. But I just want to give you a full 360 of the tablescape. I really enjoyed designing this one for you, and I hope that you get some inspiration from it and that you'll try it at your home. And let me know if you do try to recreate this winter wonderland for your home. Now on to the second tablescape that I have for you, the Rustic Farmhouse Christmas. These are the supplies that I used for this tablescape. I wanted to layer the table runner, so I used two different table runners. These two trees are from Walmart, the Aldi's lantern, a couple different types of ribbon, and then I went with white dinnerware, the same charger, and then the pine picks. And some small little picks with acorns and berries. So for this tablescape, I wanted a layered look to the table runner. So I'm going to use two. The first one I use is just a red plain table runner. And then I want to use a burlap on top of that. And so through the burlap, you'll actually see a little bit of the red popping through. And so I think this layered look just adds some additional interest. So once that's all nice and straight and without wrinkles, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the pine picks and again lay them out, fluffing them, and then just trying to hide the pick itself so that it won't be seen. And again, I didn't think that it needed to be cut, but if you're worried about it peeking through or did you be able to see the straight pick, go ahead and just cut that part close to where the pine starts. But again, I'm just opening it up, leaving some room so that I can place the different objects into it. So first I wanted to lay the lantern. Well, it was having trouble setting on the greenery, so I did go and find a black stand that I could place on top of the greenery so that the lantern would be nice and flat and secure. So then I grabbed the two trees that I got from Walmart, and then I just placed them on either side of the lantern. And I like to have one in the front and then one on the back to balance out the tablescape. And then I grabbed my pieces of ribbon, And I wanted 2 different types of ribbon just to give it more interest. And I like to use small pieces of ribbon rather than the long piece. This also saves you because the pieces that look like that it is under, there's nothing actually there, but it still appears to be one flow of continuous ribbon. So the tip that I have is to take 12-inch sections, and then when you're placing them, you pinch each ends and then you tuck them under just so that you can't see where the ends are cut. And it just looks like one piece, and again, you're not having to use as much ribbon. And I love adding the different types of ribbon. So this one was a little bit thicker that is just trimmed in red, and then I'm going to add the smaller buffalo check. And I think just adding 2 different ribbons just gives it a more complete and look, and it's a lot more artistic looking. So again, using those smaller 12-inch pieces is so much easier to place the pieces where you want them. So I did have 5 of the thicker ribbons and also 5 of the thinner ribbon. You can add as much or as little as you want, but that's what I used. And then for just a little bit of more natural look, I went into my yard and actually collected some pine cones. So what is better than some free decorations? And so I added those along in just any of the empty spaces. And also they brought a little bit of a pine scent, which I also thought was an added bonus. I also wanted to add some of the small little picks that I had found at Hobby Lobby, and they are just acorns with some berries, and I just place them anywhere that I want to just add a little bit of interest, or anywhere that was like an empty spot or you wanted to draw your eye to. And I think these little picks, I had 9 of those, and so I just spread them equally around the arrangement. So for the individual place settings, I wanted to keep it pretty simple, so I kept with the theme of the rustic charger, and I placed that at the 4 place settings. On top of that, then the white ceramic plate, and again, to keep it simple, I just went with the matching salad plate. And then I took just a green and white red plaid napkin, just folded it square and placed that on top. And then I thought that it would look really cute to just place an individual acorn on each place setting. You could also even personalize it by putting the person's name on it, and that would be a really cute touch too. Alright, all finished. I absolutely love this rustic farmhouse Christmas. I loved putting this together. I think it is just so Christmassy. I love that it has the farmhouse rusticness, and then it also has the Christmas colors of green and red. So I'll just do a 360 view so that you can see both sides. And I do think that the double layer table runner is just a really nice touch. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if you would like to see another type of tablescape, also leave that down in the comments. I'd be happy to come up with all different types of themes to show you. Well, that's the 2 types of tablescapes that I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye!